So here is Sharpie at Rocking Horse in the prelim division. We're coming straight down the center line. He's really become a very good, consistent horse. We still have to work on getting our gaits more expressive, but that will come as he gets becomes more seasoned. We cross the diagonal, going into our lengthening trot. That is steadily getting better. Still a little hurried and short. You would want to see your horse just extend without it kind of running. But it takes him a while. Now we come down the center line to our leg yield. A little crooked. You can see he's tilting in his head a little bit, so I have to work on that some more. Try to make sure to get him nice and smooth in our canter transition. Now we go forward in our medium canter. Didn't really show too much of a difference there. I sometimes have to be careful with his balance on the 20 meters when I'm asking for a medium so he doesn't swap off behind. Still, it can be a little green that way. Now we do our counter canter loop. And then making sure I keep him together through the short side. Coming to our transition for our trot at X to pick up the right lead canter. Is pretty smooth. Maybe came just a hair above the bit. And again, medium canter. I could push him a little bit more now that he's settled in. And then making sure to show the transition back at C. Now for our counter canter loop. Is very good, maintaining the balance. His right lead is his stronger lead, so you can see he's a little bit more expressive on this side. Coming to our trot transition at X. The one thing is, because he is very consistent, I can work on being pretty accurate with how my transitions are. So we halt at X and then do our back. He's fairly obedient. Got a little crooked, but I'm picking at him a little bit here. Where I know I can grab some points are in my walk. So he has a very, very good walk. So now I'm in my free walk. He really swings and comes over his back and reaches out with his neck, which is what you want to look for. You want to have a nice overstep. Coming back, the working walk. Now preparing. This test can be a little kind of disjointed because you have the halt in the back and then you have to do the leg yield again. So that's why you saw a little bit of resistance. But it was better. He got over there. He stayed pretty consistent in the bridle. Now we're going to do our stretch trot on the circle. He does a pretty good job. Oh, sorry, serpentine. Stayed pretty nice and consistent in the same tempo. Now I prepare him for the corner to come down the center line. He got a little low through the pole. And then he halts nice and square at X. Very good boy. Very nice, solid test.
Number 34 next in our preliminary. Sharp decision, 8-year-old Thoroughbred gelding, owned by Susan Day, written by Elisa Wallace of Jasper, Georgia. Number 34.
So on to show jumping for Sharpie. And always working on trying to keep him in the balance, making sure that he can jump up and around the fences. He did a fairly good job through there. I have to make sure because there's quite a while to this vertical, and he gave this one a decent rub. I got pretty lucky with that rail actually. He jumped really good over that oxer. Again, I'm trying to maintain his shape, making sure he keeps his balance on the hind end. Liverpools can oftentimes be a little spooky for horses, but Sharpie doesn't care. He jumps really good through the in and out. Maintaining the balance here. And I just got in a little too close to that Swedish oxer, so you couldn't see that in fact the rail came down, which was unfortunate. So I'm trying to keep him together here, making sure he rocks back on the hind end. Jumps really well over that oxer. Now just to maintain for the final. In and out. He does a good job. So overall, really happy with him. Just the one rail. But put in a good round. Now on to cross country. He kind of trotted for a fair amount of time out of the start box, but coming to the first fence. Now, since this is his kind of third show at Rocking Horse, he's a little bit like knows what he's doing. So it works really well in building a horse's confidence. We come to the second fence. Jump that really well. He's really gotten the hang of starting to jump fences kind of out of stride. Really learning to cover the ground. That was a nice big brush fence that I was a little far off, but he handled it pretty well. Now coming to the water. This is a pretty simple water here. We just cantered through and then jumped the table out. But you have to make sure that you keep your horses balanced, that they don't kind of tip on their head a little bit, because it can kind of catch you on the jump out. He's galloping much better. Still have to remind him every now and then to keep his head up. And then we head kind of all the way to the sunken road. It's a little far away, but there's the rail, so you go from galloping to you want to sit up, collect your horse so they're in the proper balance, drop down the hill, and then we jump up over the rails. Did a really good job there. Coming to a nice table. Did a good job of coming back and setting him up for the water. Again, no problems. He's very brave, and here I had to say whoa, and he kind of didn't pay much attention to the little house and jumped it pretty awkward. So for me, that's kind of the hardest thing of with Sharpie, has been to make sure he respects all the fences. So when they're little like that, he tends to just be like, oh, I can just throw my legs over it. But he is learning, and he's doing a lot better. Was fabulous through the coffin. No hesitation. He put in a great round, and we ended up double clear, and he was super.
Why am I so slow today? Jeez Louise. Yeah? Huh? He's still figuring how to do that thing. It's like, dude,
you gotta pick up your feet a bit.
You gotta, when we're like that, you gotta do something.
You look good.